Okay, everybody, here is the review for our first quiz. So, first question is just to solve for x. So, first I distributed 2x minus 8, 5x plus 5. I subtracted 2x from both sides, and then I went from here, and I got a 3x plus 5. I subtracted 5 from both sides. I got 3x equals 13. I divided by 3, and I got negative 13 thirds. Boom. Number 2, if it's in this form, an x squared, I'm going to factor. So I factor the trinomial, which we learned in geometry. I factor the trinomial. X times x makes x squared. I need a negative 5 and a positive 3 to make a multiple of negative 15, but they also add to negative 2. Now, I'm not done because I'm going to solve it. So I take my x minus 5, set it equals 0, and my x plus 3, set it equals 0, plus 5 plus 5. One answer is 5. Minus 3, the other answer is negative 3. So I get two answers. Okay. Number 3, there is no equal sign, so I'm just going to simplify it. Because of the square, I wrote it twice, and then I fold it. 2x times 2x, 4x squared. 2x times 7 is a 14x. 7 times 2 is a 14x. And 7 times 7 is 49. These two middle terms are both x's. I can add them and make a 28x. So my answer is 4x squared plus 28x plus 49. Okay. Number 2, I'm going to simplify. There's no equal sign. I'm just going to simplify. So I distributed first. 2x squared minus 8. And then I combine like terms. These are both x squareds. 2x minus 5x makes a negative 3x. These two are both x terms, so I get a negative... here we go. Negative 5x, and then the negative 2 is by itself. Okay. All right, number 5, need to graph this parabola. It's already in vertex form. So remember, it's the opposite. So my vertex is at positive 4, negative 9, right there. My line of symmetry goes through it at x equals 4, goes right through the vertex. To get my y-intercept is where x equals 0, so I plug 0 in for x, plug 0 in for x. I get 4 squared is 16, half of 16 is 8, 8 minus 9 is a negative 1. So there's my y-intercept is at 0, negative 1. Okay. 6, it's in root form, so my roots are going to be at, remember it's the opposite, positive 1, negative 5. There's my positive 1 and negative 5. I know the line of symmetry is right in the middle. I can average the roots. Either way, I get negative 2 for that. And then I know the vertex is somewhere along the line of symmetry. So I plug it in for x. Plug in my negative 2 in for x. I get a negative 2 plugged in for x. A negative 2 plugged in for x. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. Multiply, I get a negative 9. So I know my vertex is all the way down here at my negative 2, negative 9, and there is my parabola. Okay? Line of symmetry is x equals negative 2, and I got it. Okay? Now, on the back side, it's in general form or standard form, so I need to use my negative b over 2a first. So I use my negative b over 2a. There's my a, b, c. So negative b over 2a is a negative 6 over 2 times negative 2, which is a 6/4 or 1.5. So my line of symmetry is at 1.5. Okay. Then I need the vertex to get it. I know the y value has to be on my line of symmetry, so I plugged it in. Put my 1.5 here for x and here. I just used my calculator. Used my calculator and I got an answer of negative 10.5. So when I plugged it in, I got a negative 10.5. I have a y-intercept at 0, 3, because if x is 0, I get 3. So I have a second point I can reflect. I don't need the x-intercept, so I just draw it in. Y-intercept, reflected point, and vertex. Okay? All right, number 8, we need to find an equation. So I need the equation. I know I have a vertex, so the first thing I do is use my vertex form. So my vertex form is this y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So I'm going to use my 2 for my h and my negative 5 for 5. So I got y equals a times x minus 2 quantity squared minus 5. Okay, now I need more because I need the value of a. So I'm going to find a, so I have another point. has to go through 0, 4, so that's my y value. That goes there. I have a 0, that's my x values. Plug that there. So I simplify. Okay, negative 2 squared is 4. So I've got 8 times 4. I added 5 to both sides. Plus 5 plus 5. I get a 9. Divide by 4. I get 9 fourths. So my answer is to take my 9 fourths, put it right there. So my answer is y equals a 9 fourths times x minus 2 20 squared minus 5. Okay? Number 9. Root form. Okay, so root form, I need an equation. If it's root form, and the equation would be y equals a times x minus r1 times x minus r2. Here's my root, r1. Here's my root, r2. So I replaced my r1 with 2, and I replaced my r2 with 5. Okay? Okay, it's a good start, but I need more. So I have a point at 0, 3. It goes through. That's my x, my y value. So plug my negative 3 in for y and my 0 in for both x's. Because I got an x, I have 0 for both x's. So 0 goes there and there. Okay, so that makes a negative 2 times a negative 5 is a 10. So I get a 10a equals negative 3. Then I divide it by 10, and I got a negative 3 tenths. So my answer is to take this negative 3 tenths and put it right there. Okay? All right. Last but not least, we've done this question a bunch of times. We know the equation is going to be the h of t. I'll squeeze in here. H of t equals our negative 16t squared, that's gravity, plus v0t, initial velocity, plus h0, starting height. So negative 16 t squared, gravity, plus initial velocity is 66t, plus my starting height is 5 feet. I know that if I want to find the highest, that would be the vertex, so I use my negative b over 2a. So I'm at negative 66 over 2 times negative 16. I use my calculator, and I got about a 2.062. Okay, so that's the time. I just use my calculator here. To get the height, I plug my time into the equation for t. So I put my 2.0625 in for t, and for t, I just used my calculator, and I got about a 73.06. Okay, that's all I have. Quiz tomorrow. Do your studying, prepare, and you'll do fine.